Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to have a look at the iPad Pro 10.5 inch and we're going to see whether it's worth picking up in 2019. So let's get started. Now the iPad Pro 10.5 inches came out all the way back in 2017, June of 2017. So that makes it about 2 years and more, slightly more. So those who are looking at picking up the brand new, yet to be released iPads, those would be mostly coming out in March of 2020. So brief specs refresh on this little guy. Obviously it's 10.5 inches. It's got the Apple A10X processor within it, coupled with 4 gigabytes of RAM, a rear 12 megapixel camera, which can shoot 4K video, so it maxes out at 4K 30 frames per second, and a front 7 megapixel camera, which maxes out at 1080p. That isn't quite great, but for a tablet, I do find the quality is pretty decent for FaceTime and other video services. So no issues there. Now, one of the main features of this iPad is the form factor, the 10.5 inch form factor. It isn't too big, it isn't too large. Overall, the design is reminiscent of all the other iPads. It's nice and slim. It's as slim as the iPad Air 2, so it's really nice and thin, very light, about a pound. And the bezels are really small over here on the sides, whereas on the top and the bottom they remain the same, and it feels really nice to hold in hand. The palm rejection when you do hold it in portrait mode is excellent. Now, other than that, the major selling feature, in my personal opinion, on this iPad is ProMotion. Now, those of you who haven't experienced ProMotion, I would highly recommend you go to the Apple Store and look at a new iPad Pro which does support ProMotion. If you experience ProMotion, you will believe what I'm saying, because ProMotion is absolutely, it's amazing. The way it works is so good. It's a real amazing technology. I am currently recording in 1080p at 60 fps, whereas ProMotion is at 120. So I'm not sure if you can see all of this on video, but ProMotion is so nice and so smooth. There's literally no delay and no lag in anything you're doing. It really makes the experience of using the iPad every single day a very pleasant one, and scrolling is absolutely fantastic. It's a very nice experience. Now, to top it up, because of ProMotion, the Apple Pencil's latency is even better, so things are really nice and smooth. And overall, ProMotion is something absolutely fantastic that you get on the 10.5 inch iPad Pro, and it kind of spoils you, because when you go and use a device without ProMotion on it, you kind of feel that you're going backward. You can literally see the lag when it comes to scrolling on those devices without ProMotion. But this guy, oh man, it is absolutely buttery smooth, and it's an absolute treat to the eyes, and it's a beautiful experience. ProMotion is fantastic. Now, apart from that, the display, again, it's nice and bright. It goes all the way till 600 nits. So it's nice and bright. Outdoor visibility is great. No issues at all. Also, the display has a reflective coating, so it isn't going to be super reflective when you're consuming media, so that's great. You also get True Tone with the iPad Pro. I don't use it that much, but if you guys are into True Tone, you do get True Tone on this version of the iPad Pro. Other than that, the display quality is really nice. As I said, it is it's a P3 color. It's got a P3 color gamut and an HDR10 compliant display. So colors are nice and vibrant. It's really rich. There's no way you can compare it to an OLED or anything like that, but for an iPad, it's a really nice display on this guy. Now, moving into performance, as I said, it's got the Apple A10X. Now, the newer iPad Pros do have the Apple A12 on them, but trust me, guys, day-to-day performance, you'll never make out the difference between the A10X and the new iPads with the A12. In day-to-day, they're basically almost the same. Apple's software optimization is so good that it's just not going to pop out at you that, look, you're using a newer iPad with the A12. You're never going to notice that unless you do really demanding tasks like video editing and exporting. There's no way you're going to notice that huge difference with processors. So in terms of performance, this is the A10X. I would personally pick this up because obviously it's cheaper, and you could expect another 2 to 3 years of software updates for this guy. So I would personally save my money and pick up the 10.5-inch iPad Pro and enjoy the performance for another few years. Also, you are getting iOS 13, so you're going to get all the nice features which the newer iPads will also enjoy. So you are completely covered in terms of performance over there. In terms of camera, as I said, can do 4K video at 30 FPS. Now, those of you who love using your iPads for photography, that's great. The iPad Pro is not going to disappoint you. I cannot comment a lot on that because I really do not use this iPad for a lot of photos or videos, but uh, based on other reviews, it does a pretty good job because it's got the same sensor as the iPhone 7 on it. So obviously it's going to do a pretty good job. Now, in terms of accessories, the iPad Pro does you do have those smart connectors which can connect to the Apple keyboard. Now, I would personally not recommend you guys go and get this keyboard because this isn't going to be worth your money. There are tons of third-party keyboards out there that offer much more value than this one. This one isn't even backlit. Apple markets it like it's a really good keyboard and it's the ideal size for typing, but I personally feel it's a gimmick. I thought I would be really productive using this keyboard, but unfortunately, there's no way you can use this little keyboard for typing a lot of documents. It's really not ergonomic, and your hands do get kind of tired. The key travel is kind of decent, and the material is kind of okay, but I'm not sure if everyone like that. But overall, you might as well just get a third-party keyboard which has got the backlighting feature, and that'll be much better in terms of getting this one. Other than that, the Apple Pencil also does work really great. I'm not using it because it doesn't fit in with my workflow, but those of you who are looking at the Apple Pencil, this iPad will only support the Apple Pencil first generation, the funny one that charges like that. So that's the one that's going to support on this one. Unfortunately, you cannot use the second generation Apple Pencil on this version of the iPad Pro. But again, that's going to be a great experience because the latency is going to be so smooth just because of ProMotion technology with this guy. Now, in terms of pricing, again, you cannot buy this directly from Apple anymore, but you can buy it from Apple in terms of refurbished devices. But again, if you're buying it refurbished from Apple, they will charge you quite a bit of money. So I would personally recommend having a look on Amazon and sites like eBay to get one of the best deals available. So looking at eBay, you will get this about 300 to 400, even 500 pounds, depending upon the configuration and the condition of the device. But overall, if you get a great deal, just grab the iPad Pro 10.5 inches. You will not be disappointed, I guarantee you. Now, in terms of battery life, again, Apple does say 10 hours, but I can say approximately 8 to 9 again, depending completely on usage. I cannot comment battery life because I'm running iOS 13, so the battery is kind of iffy. But I do charge the iPad maybe twice in an entire week, so it does stay. And iPads have always been known for good battery life, so I don't think you need to worry about battery life with the iPad Pro. Again, but just make sure when you're buying it used, just kind of inquire about the battery life for your device. Other than that, how does it stack up to the newer versions of the iPads? Well, let's begin with the newer iPad Pros 11-inch and the 12.9-inch. In terms of design, in my frank opinion, I don't prefer the newer designs because in landscape mode they do look pretty nice, but the moment you turn it up to portrait mode, they kind of look asymmetrical and they just don't feel like an Apple product design to me. And that's one of the main reasons I still love using this one, because it's nice and rounded. It's got the traditional, that beautiful iPad design with those slim bezels at the top, on the sides, which makes it's just a really nice feel in the hand compared to the newer versions. Also, in terms of durability, the newer ones are bending right from within their boxes, and Apple isn't acknowledging this globally. Few stores do offer replacements, few don't. And with those devices that begin about at $799, I wouldn't want to spend my money and get a bent device out of the box. So I'm not saying that the 10.5 inches does not bend. This guy is absolutely thin, and this will also bend, but overall in terms of durability, this is doing much better than the newer ones. I highly recommend, if you guys are picking up this guy or the new ones, get a case, and you are not going to regret this, because these devices are costly, and if you bend them, you might get it replaced, you might not. You would need Apple Care Plus, so just take care that these devices are really fragile. So put them in a case and just take care using them. Other than that, again, as I said, in difference of performance, because the processor, you're not going to notice a lot of difference. Obviously, you will be using Apple Pencil first generation, but there's literally, you're not losing out a lot, because you're going to get all of the new features that iOS 13 brings to the new iPads on this guy. Now let's move on to the iPad mini 5. There's literally no comparison between this one and that one, because the iPad mini 5 is a little small iPad with just 7.9 inches of the display, whereas this is a huge 10.5-inch display. This has got ProMotion, the iPad mini does not. And that's it. It just ends right there. This is any day going to be an amazing tablet experience compared to the iPad mini. You've got a nice screen, good screen real estate, and the experience is going to be that much better. Now, coming to the new iPad Air. So the new iPad Air is kind of a tricky one for most people. This is the new iPad Air. It's the absolute same 10.5-inch form factor as this one, but do not get confused, because this iPad Air does not have the ProMotion technology on it. Also, if you notice, this iPad, the 10.5-inch iPad Pro, has 4 speakers, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top, whereas this iPad just has 2 speakers at the bottom and not at the top. So you will be losing out on 2 pairs of speakers, as well as the ProMotion technology. But this iPad is cheaper. Again, in my frank opinion, skip this and get the iPad Pro 10.5. You will be really happy, because trust me, that ProMotion and those 2 speakers are going to make a huge difference. And overall, even though this has a better processor than the 10.5-inch iPad Pro, the value you get out of the 10.5-inch iPad Pro is any day way better than the iPad Air. So that's it, comparing it with the newer iPads. Now, one last feature which I really love of this iPad Pro is the speakers. As I said, you have 4 speakers, and the experience is absolutely phenomenal with the speakers. They're really nice and rich in sound quality, and the bass is amazing. One of the best audio experiences you can have on an iPad is with the iPad Pro 10.5-inch. Have a listen. Just encompasses your entire room, and it feels so good. The experience of watching movies and consuming media is absolutely fantastic on this guy. So that's it. I usually don't blast the speakers up completely, but overall it's fantastic. So you guys, that's the end of the video, and the answer to the question, should you pick up the iPad Pro 10.5-inch in 2019, is an absolute yes. It's got a great value. It's still one of the best in class in terms of audio and your entire viewing experience. That ProMotion display is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend you guys try it out. It's a real world changer. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video, and do hit that like and that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.